Coming up tonight on the news at 6. A federal court judge orders 2 Helena brothers accused of taking part in the Capitol riot detained and returned to Washington, D.C. Plus,
I think it's really great to see some renderings and some actual plans starting to materialize.
Reimagining Helena's 2 malfunction junctions.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 6.
Good evening. Welcome to the News at 6. I'm Marian Davidson. Thanks for joining us.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 5.
Well, a federal magistrate judge in Great Falls granted a U.S. Attorney's Office request to transfer 2 Helena area brothers accused of participating in the Capitol riot back to Washington, D.C. Joshua and Jared Hughes made their initial appearance in federal court in Great Falls this morning and were ordered to be detained pending further court proceedings. Prosecutors say the men were among the first 10 rioters to enter the Capitol at that part of the building. They were also allegedly part of the mob that confronted Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman in one of the most widely shared videos from the riot. Goodman has been called a hero for luring the mob away from the Senate floor while lawmakers were still evacuating. The Hughes brothers are also accused of opening senators' desks and viewing sensitive material on the Senate floor. They face a total of 9 charges each. Weather with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz. Good evening, Curtis.
Good evening, Marian. Good evening, everybody. Happy February to you all. Didn't feel like the beginning of February. It felt more like maybe the beginning of April out there. East Glacier. All right, yeah, we've got some snow up in the mountains, but East Glacier made a run at 50 degrees today. I hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow should be a fairly mild one as well, but cold air is coming. Where is it? It's up in Canada and Yukon, Northwest provinces there in Northwest Territory, that is. A little cold air coming in Tuesday night into Wednesday, but watch what happens later in the week, later Friday. Really cold air moves into the state, and here we go. By Saturday, we could be, for high temperatures, 20 below northeast Montana, teens below zero in the central part of the state, and single digits above and below zero in the western part of the state. Saturday night, northeast Montana without the wind could be around 40 below zero. Yeah, dangerous cold. Real Montana winter. About time it's coming. The hog tomorrow, groundhog that is, will be hiding. We'll have more on that coming up. And weather-wise, it gets cold and then much colder later this week. And dust them off. Your snow blowers, the shovels, the plows, we're going to need them too. More on the forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Curtis. Well, some big changes could be on the way to Helena's malfunction junctions. A new study outlines possible improvements for some of the city's busiest streets and intersections. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports.
The city of Helena has been looking for a long-range plan on ways to improve several key traffic corridors, particularly at the 2 intersections known as malfunction junctions. The city brought in Robert Pecha and Associates, who put together a draft traffic study for the 2 5-point intersections, as well as the connecting streets of Last Chance Gulch and Helena, Lyndale, and Montana Avenues. It lays out proposed improvements the city could make over the next decade or longer. On Last Chance Gulch, the draft study recommends maintaining one-way traffic in the downtown area and making smaller upgrades to the streetscape and sidewalks. At the mini malfunction junction with Helena and Neal Avenues, it recommends a roundabout, but says that's likely at least 10 years away. Downtown business owners I talked to said they're interested in the recommendations, but want to see more details. A larger roundabout is suggested for the junction of Montana, Lyndale, and Helena Avenues. People in the Midtown 6th Ward area, like business owner Megan Malkin, have long been asking for improved access into the neighborhood.
I think a roundabout would be incredible. I think it would just definitely improve traffic flow and even just be a little prettier with some of the green space that they're talking about bringing in as well.
The draft recommendations also call for building an underpass so traffic can flow through the Montana Avenue Railroad crossing, and in the shorter term, creating a bike and pedestrian crossing in the area for the Centennial Trail.
I think it's really great to see some renderings and some actual plans starting to materialize. And we'll see if they happen, and hopefully they do.
The city will be holding virtual informational meetings on the draft study on February 10th. The feedback they receive will be incorporated into the final document. In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Head over to our website, ktvh.com, for a link to the full draft study and for information on how to participate in the public meetings and submit your comments. Montana lawmakers heard emotional testimony today on a bill aimed at limiting the cost of insulin for diabetes patients. House Bill 222 is sponsored by Democratic Representative Jessica Karjala of Billings. It would require insurance companies to charge patients no more than $35 in copays for a 30-day supply of insulin. Now, supporters said insulin prices have tripled in recent decades, putting a burden on patients who need it. Those testifying in favor of HB 222 included people whose families could not get all the insulin they needed because of the cost. But the bill drew opposition from health insurers who argued it would not address the root cause of higher costs, the prices set by drug manufacturers. They said capping copays would force them to pass costs on to other people's premiums.
Sooner or later, someone has to make it clear that it is not okay to make billions of dollars of profits off of persons that have no option but to pay or become blind or disabled or to die.
Why are drug companies raising the cost of life-saving drugs like insulin? Because they can, and they will, and this bill won't stop them from doing that.
The House and Human Services Committee did not take immediate action on the bill after today's hearing. And today, the Montana House endorsed the bill meant to protect Montana businesses and others against so-called frivolous lawsuits seeking damages related to COVID-19. The House voted largely along party lines, with Republicans in favor to advance the bill on a 66-33 vote. The bill says anyone suing for damages related to infections from COVID-19 must prove gross negligence, which is a higher standard for a plaintiff in a civil suit. Supporters say the bill is needed to encourage businesses to stay open or reopen without fear of getting sued by people claiming damages from COVID-19 infections. Now, opponents, mostly Democrats, said the bill lets businesses evade responsibility for creating a safe workplace for employees. Republican Governor Greg Gianforte made the bill one of his top priorities and says he will lift the statewide mask mandate once the bill becomes law. The bill faces a final vote tomorrow before advancing to one last vote before the Senate. After that, it goes to Gianforte for his signature into law. Now taking a look at Montana's COVID-19 situation, active cases of COVID-19 and hospitalizations from the virus in Montana continue to decline. As of today, there are about 3,400 active cases. Active hospitalizations are holding steady at just over 100. 5 more deaths have been reported in the state since last night, which brings the statewide death total to 1,233. And as of today, more than 107,000 total doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have been distributed in the state, with nearly 27,000 Montanans fully immunized from the virus. Now, the state also releases county-level vaccine numbers every Monday. In Lewis and Clark County, 8,100 doses have been administered, with just under 2,000 people fully immunized. Numbers are similar in Cascade County, with around 8,300 doses given and approximately 1,900 people fully vaccinated. And still ahead on the news at 6, how the Helena Federal Reserve Bank has been a financial innovator over its 100-year history.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the news at 6. The Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis Helena branch is celebrating 100 years of operation today. MTN's John Riley brings us an inside look at some of the innovations pioneered through the branch over the last century.
The original branch opened in 1921 thanks to the lobbying efforts of Dr. Norman Holter and other local businessmen. After the 1935 earthquake destroyed the first structure, the branch moved to Park Avenue. Employees moved into the current home of the branch on Neal Avenue in 1990. Often referred to as the Banker's Bank, the Federal Reserve supervises and regulates banks and helps maintain the stability of the industry.
The main purpose of the Federal Reserve Bank is monetary policy, so it sets interest rates for the banks that the banks use for the loans that they use with their consumers. We are the only branch in the 9th District, and so our territory is huge from here to Minneapolis. I'm able to service all the banks in Montana is crucial in a timely fashion. So it's important that we're here to make sure that they receive the currency that they need for their operations.
The Federal Reserve System essentially operates as a nonprofit. Any money they take in from loans to institutions or other services goes back to the U.S. Treasury to pay off the nation's debt.
Due to security concerns, we can only show you a small fraction of what it looks like inside the Helena branch. Those security procedures are constantly evolving, much like the services of the Federal Reserve.
The Helena branch piloted an electronic check imaging system before it was used nationwide. Check processing used to be a core function of the Federal Reserve before digital checks.
The reason they did it here, because they figured if it works in Montana, it would work everywhere because the transportation distances were so big.
The Helena branch was also responsible for the creation of the Center for Indian Country Development, which aims to support the prosperity of Native nations through actionable research and community collaboration. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
All right, and now with another look at the weather, here's Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevnitz.
All right, one more day of this warmth. Look at this. Temperatures today. Highs made up to 57 degrees in Havre, 58 in Jordan, Great Falls and Cut Bank at 54. One more warm before the storm. We'll talk about the cold, snow, plus weather-wise and Groundhog Day coming up next.
Starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevnitz.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tomorrow, you know it's a huge day because it's Groundhog Day. I stole this systematic method years ago from Mr. Al Marks when Boomer the Wonder Pup used to pick the Super Bowl contenders. Remember that? Well, my late dog token here was the first prognosticating pooch. And now in this week's Weatherwise, it's Ritz, the most popular puppy in town's turn to make a forecast. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do a very highly scientific experiment right here that works 100% of the time, 50% of the time. So Ritz here is going to go and choose between either an early spring or 6 more weeks of winter. Are you ready? Are you ready? Go ahead. Go ahead. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it, purely scientific. The prognosticating pooch here has decided that there will be 6 more weeks of winter. I did not influence her, but that is my dog. And now you're a little more weather-wise. Have to worry about what the groundhog says tomorrow. There it is. 6 more weeks of winter. I know it's kind of hard to believe after the winter we've had thus far. And the start of February, more of the same, more mild temperatures. Great Falls still at 46 degrees. Last year, the record high of 64 degrees. And Helena, look how much light is in the sky. Absolutely love that. 38 degrees, a little cooler, but still a nice day around Helena. We had a minor inversion going on, and there you can see the high temperature record high of 64, also set back last year. Current readings, 30s and 40s. These numbers, for the most part, are warmer than the average high should be for the day. Wind, not too bad. A little breezy down there as far as Livingston standards go, 24-mile-per-hour winds. Some sprinkles and flakes here right around the Bitterroots, and then further off towards the west. This is the next system that will be moving in. A little rain down into California as well. That is great. Love seeing that. Some rain into Southern California and Arizona as well. And where is all the snow? All of the snow is back east here. This is the biggest snowstorm in 6 years in New York. Central Park, about 15 inches of snow so far. Parts of Jersey, it's the only state where you can leave out the new before the state, but parts of Jersey have 30 inches of snow already. We've got snow, maybe not 30 inches, but snow headed into Montana tomorrow. Groundhog Day, the groundhog likely seeing its shadow with some sunshine early on. Later in the evening, though, front will go through a couple of mixed rain and snow showers in the lower elevations, and there will be some snow showers through the overnight into Wednesday morning. Don't expect a lot, if any, accumulation into the lower elevations. Couple inches into the mountains. Some snow showers in the mountains here on Wednesday. Thursday starts out with some sun, quickly clouds up as the next system moves in. By 10 o'clock, some snow showers starting to work their way back into the state. And Friday, get ready for some snow that will be coming down here across a lot of the state most of the day here with falling temperatures. By Friday night, Arctic air will move in, snow moving out Saturday morning. Saturday, a very cold day, and then some warmer air tries to work its way back into the state here for Sunday before another round of snow comes through Sunday night into Monday. So here we go, real Montana winter with snow and cold headed our way. So a little snow Tuesday night into Wednesday, probably not much in the lower elevations here, but heading into Thursday night and Friday, a little bit more snow, a few inches likely in the lower elevations, and then into Sunday night and Monday, a little more snow. So by this time next week, a lot of the state will look and feel a lot different. Here's the forecast for tonight. Enjoy the mild weather while we have it here. Lows tonight, many locations with the exception of northeast Montana, staying above the freezing point in Lewistown, down into the 20s around the Helena area. And here's the forecast for Groundhog Day tomorrow. I think I'll take the holiday off. No, I'll work. Here comes the cold front late. Out ahead of that, temperatures once again well above normal. 61 in Jordan tomorrow. Snow showers mixed with a little rain late tomorrow evening. Now Wednesday, some snow showers in the morning here. Colder air working its way in. Highs only in the 20s across the northern and central part of the state. Thursday, a little warmer air working its way in briefly ahead of the next cold front. That will come through with Arctic high pressure here on Friday. High temperatures early in the day. Most of Montana will fall below zero Friday night. For Helena, almost 50 tomorrow. A couple of mixed rain and snow showers after dark tomorrow night. Wednesday, some snow showers mainly in the mountains. Friday's a snowy day. 0 in Helena by Friday night. 5 for the high on Saturday. Another round of snow coming through Sunday into Monday. And for Great Falls, 52 tomorrow, but look at Friday night, 15 below zero. A lot of north central Montana well below zero Saturday night for high, or Saturday for highs, and then another round of snow Sunday night into Monday.
All right, thanks, Curtis. Coming up, where does the money come from to pay for stimulus payments for Americans? We'll have the answer.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6. Another week brings more talk about another round of stimulus checks. But where exactly does that money come from? Joe St. George has the answer.
This is the U.S. Mint headquarters in Washington, D.C., quite literally the building in charge of printing money. But when it comes to where stimulus and unemployment money comes from, the printing press, or the U.S. Mint, actually isn't involved at all.
But in order for Congress to pass these trillion-dollar laws that eventually results in real money in your wallet, the Treasury Department has to borrow the money.
Unlike you or me, the Treasury Department can borrow as much as they want. They can borrow money from private investors, foreign entities, and other governments. Basically, the Treasury Department issues a bond or a note that is really an IOU, promising to pay back the money with a little bit of interest one day.
But the biggest buyer of these IOUs right now is an entity called the Federal Reserve. They have the power to create money.
But again, they aren't printing anything. Instead, they are simply typing a number into their computer, updating their spreadsheet, and like magic, a digital currency is borrowed by the Treasury Department. All that borrowing gives the Treasury Department the ability to issue those stimulus checks. So, is there a risk to all of this? Well, there is a word that scares economists. The word is inflation. That's when there's too much money in circulation and there aren't enough goods. That's when money becomes nearly worthless, like in some third world countries where pictures like this emerge. Now, economists don't believe we're at risk for that right now, as long as all of this is managed correctly and our economy is still producing more than we are borrowing. And while all of this may sound complicated, that's how you get the stimulus check. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
As news leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
All right, well, that does it for the News at 6, but we'll be back here tonight at 10 with your latest news and weather, and of course, stay with us around the clock on KTVH.com. We'll see you back here tonight at 10.